Namaste. Welcome everyone for this MyBHARAT campaign. I congratulate Disha Bharat team to have initiated this new event called Pustak Parichay or book review. And when Disha Bharat will ask me to review a book, introduce a book to the audience, I felt there is no other better book than the book that I'm introducing you today in the Disha Bharat platform. Probably the reason is the objectives of the book, the vision of the book, the mission of the book isn't completely aligned to the vision, mission, and objectives of Disha Bharat. So today I have chosen the book published by CHINMAYA Mission called The Transforming Indians to Transform India. Disha Bharat's vision is also transforming youth to transform nation. Today I have taken the book Transforming Indians to Transform India. This is by CHINMAYA Mission. This was a book which was published during an 1-year campaign that was done by CHINMAYA Mission. And in the process, they did many events, one of which was a free distribution of book. Now they have it in Amazon and many other places too. This is one of the amazing books that I have read, I've come across in terms of personality development and national progress. There are many unique things about this book. The book has the messages, best wishes from the then Prime Minister Manmohan Singh, the then President Pratibha Patil for the successful completion of this book and the campaign too. And more than that, this book starts with an invocation. And the invocation is not on any god, but on Bharat Mata itself. There are 4 verses which speaks about the cultural Bharat, which speaks about the geographical Bharat, which speaks about the social Bharat, and finally, Bharat as the personification of Mother, Bharat Mata herself. So in that sense, with a high note, it starts. And this book has 7 chapters. 7 chapters on this book called Transforming Indians to Transform India. How to transform an Indian? Because many a times we come across personality development and transformation, but how, in what levels a person can be transformed? Here, the authors speak about 7 layers of personality. And each layer has been taken in different ways on 7 chapters. And 7 chapters also are renamed in such a beautiful and catchy way. The first one is Fearless Footprints. Fearless Footprints. What is it? Patriotic transformation. The second chapter is FR in brackets, agility, where you become physical transformation. The third chapter is the voices in her head. It is emotional transformation. The fourth chapter is the razor's edge, intellectual transformation. Insignificant Desi land. Many of us, we feel our country as insignificant, but here the author has made inside significant land, that to what? Deshi land. So insignificant Deshi land, the cultural transformation. The next 6th is quest for the unseen. Quest for the unseen, which is spiritual transformation. And the last, imaginary roots to imaginary roots, which is developing an universal outlook. These are the 7 chapters which have been divided to address the physical, emotional, intellectual, cultural, national, spiritual, and universal outlook for everyone's life. So this book starts with and this book is enormously beautiful and wonderful because all 7 chapters have dialogues. Dialogues in the form of a story. Most of us would have read many novels, but here each chapter is a novel. Each chapter is an interaction. Each chapter is a story where it takes you through the stories and make you involved and engrossed so that you imbibe those values and you become a transformed person. So let me start with the first chapter itself. The first chapter starts with a advertisement, big banner advertisement, where join us at Andheri Sport Complex on 15th of August 2013 to meet the one who is destined to transform India. This is the advertisement that has been displayed. Why? The winds of change were definitely in the air. Everyone were waiting for that one. Who could be that? Was it a man? Was it a woman? The ancient scripture said the one would come. The great master said the one would come. The one would come and change the face of the nation. And who would be that one? For that one, you have to come on the 15th of August to Andheri Sports Complex. This was made popular and people from across the country visited there. A gang of youngsters a group of youngsters have visited to see who is that person who is going to change the face of the country. And everyone were discussing, could it be that? Could it be this person? And everyone sees it's a huge gathering of thousands and thousands of people. And everyone were amazed by the beauty and the magnanimity of the function. And everyone, when they were looking, they saw a great celebrity, a movie actor. They thought, oh, this could be that person. The other person said, need not be that. One more person showed a sports person. Could he be that? The other person showed a political person. The other person showed a businessman. And everyone were looking at, could this be that person? Could he be that one whom we have come to meet? But you ask that person also, he says, I have also come to meet that one who is going to change the face of the country. When all these murmurings were going on, an anchor comes onto the stage and gives an announcement. Today, we are very happy to have you all in this great gathering to meet that great person who is going to change the face of the country. And you are going to meet. But before that, we have made arrangements for a big exhibition of stalls. We request you all to go and visit all stalls. And at the last stall, you will be meeting that person individually, personally. And everyone were excited to meet that. And everyone went through the stalls. And before they went through the stalls, there was a first stall. And the first stall was patriotic meter. To assess yourself how patriotic you are. It says like 0% to 10%, 100%. How patriotic you are. So 18 questions are asked to assess yourself how patriotic you are. And these students who had come didn't know out of 18, not even 3 or 4 questions. They felt how embarrassing that we are called as ourselves as Indians. We don't know even this much. But this is something like a baseline study. From that, they enter into the stalls. And when they enter into the stalls, it was a magnanimous exhibit of India's contribution. And the first was, it was about makers of modern India. Who are the people who are called as the architects of modern India? That was there. Then there was a stall on the kings, the glorious kings and patriotic figures, the freedom fighters. That was there. Then the artistic India, the great monuments were there. And that was also in the form of a quiz. Do you know how beautiful the quiz is? It starts with a clue. You will be given 3 clues. And out of the 3 clues, you need to identify which is that monument. Let me give you an example of how it goes. This is a monument about where the first clue says, they are the epitome of Indian rock cut architecture built between 5th century and 10th century. If you don't know the answer, the second clue comes. There are 34 caves, which are actually the structures excavated out of vertical face of the Charangiri hills. Hope you might have understood. The third says, they contain Buddhist, Hindu, and Jain rock temples, viharas, and mathas. Can you identify? After the 3 clues, we all know it is the Ellora caves. Ellora caves in Maharashtra, and they start speaking about the greatness. Similarly, they have given some 4-5 artistic, architectural marvels of India. Later, we move on to the contributions of India in the ancient science, ancient mathematics, ancient trigonometry. Then comes the global Indians, who are the NRIs who are making India proud. Later comes the present India. What is it, present India in the field of agriculture, in the field of science and technology, in the field of infrastructure, in the field of hospitals, in every field, where do we stand? And finally, after all these things, there comes a stall, meet the one. All students and all people, the great giants are waiting to meet that. And everyone, one after the other, are sent inside the room to meet that person. And this young lady who goes and sees, there's no one. Person is kind of disappointed. Whom have I come to meet? Here comes a huge mirror where she sees herself in the mirror. There was a message, be the change you want to see in the country. You are that person who will bring the change. That was a mind-boggling and enthralling experience. She comes out saying, I want to do something. For that, they have given outside one more a wheel called 12 resolutions, 12 months, and 1 transformed citizen. Each month, you take a mission and try to take that resolve as a mission of your life and try to transform. You will be a transformed Indian. This is the first chapter on patriotic transformation. How beautiful, no? This is the first chapter. The second chapter deals with the important thing called the physical ability. The physical ability, where it starts speaking about the importance of health, importance of physical flexibility. All these things comes. The fact check. Today's India being the diabetes capital, obesity capital, these are all hard realities which we need to understand and we need to work out. After all these things, here comes a dialogue between the friends where a friend wants to know how one should develop in the physical abilities. There they bring out a beautiful concept called health bank. We all know the money bank. Here they bring about the concept called health bank, where you have to deposit and withdraw. What are the deposits and what are the withdrawals? Here they say physical account. The deposits are fitness, cleanliness, good nutrition, and many more. Emotional account, hobbies, positive attitude, and many more. Social account, self-confidence, interdependence, interconnectivity, and many more. Spiritual account, self-renewal, meditation, reading inspirational books, and many more. If these are called as the health bank deposits, what about the health withdrawals, bad habits, hygiene, ill health, mood swings, low self-esteem, lack of direction, wrong values? These are the wrong values or withdrawals. So they speak about different things, and finally, they bring yogic ways of enhancing one's physical health. Finally, they end with the steps towards the positive health, giving tips called FITT, fit, frequency, intensity, time, and type. This is the dieting discipline they have given. How frequently we have, how intensity, how much quantity we have, time, what duration, and what type of food, the sattvic, rajasic, tamasic. They have given beautifully the actual tips, the practical tips to come out of all these things and make our life a physically transformed person's life. Then the third chapter is the voices in our head, the emotional transformation, where a story of a young lady who has got married to a veteran, army veteran, and he has gone out for his work in the borders. She's feeling lonely. She has no one. She's facing so much of trouble, but the neighborhood comes and asks. Her husband has gone out for again the war task. This lady who herself is in loneliness and depression comes out, faces that fear, comes out of the fear, and makes the other person to come out of the fear. They have taken out the beautiful interaction where the lady starts talking to herself using a journal. What are the emotional trauma that she went through, how she comes out of it. And there are beautiful ways of mentioning about the reaction and response, how to react and how not to react, but to respond. There is a difference between attachment and love, how we should love one, but never get attached. The tips for emotional intelligence, communication as being the key, mindfulness, meditation techniques, and there are many more cases of how to be emotionally intelligent and face that situation. The real life scenarios have been given and beautifully mentioned. And the end, you get to know mind is the best friend. And if you don't use the mind in the proper way, it becomes the worst enemy. This is the third chapter, which deals about the emotional transformation. The fourth chapter deals with the intellectual transformation, where it is wonderful, where the BRICS, we all know BRICS Summit, they have given a project to India to send the satellite to study the sun from the moon. It is called Suryayan. It's a scientific fictional novel story where they have brought beautifully an employee and employer interaction, how a person should be intellectually strong, capable, and more than that, balanced. One should understand and take up the positions and professions based on Swadharma. Swadharma meaning Guna Karma Vibhagashaha. That's what they have taken. Attitude and aptitude. Both are important. How to know my Swadharma? They have given 12 questions to assess what is your Swadharma, how to know your Swadharma, how to opt, and how to adjust yourself to the upcoming challenges in your life, in professional life. And they give a wonderful way of 3 words: action, vision, and transformation. Action minus vision leads to confusion. Action minus vision leads to confusion. Vision minus action leads to imagination. But vision plus action leads to transformation. Hereby, they set the vision for us, mission for us, and transformation techniques, tools also. The next chapter comes with the 5th chapter, Insignificant Land. Here comes an interaction between a foreigner coming to India and staying in an Indian family itself. He comes and sees the beautiful scenic view of India, understands the Indian culture. Here, the interaction between the family who is introducing him to the great Bharat. More than that, he starts writing mails to his friend in the abroad saying what I saw, what are the great things in Indian culture, beautiful things he mentions. He writes in his letter, I came to know about the greatness of Gurukula system, places of worship. Temples are not just the places of worship. It's not just a religious place. It's a place of learning. It's a place of service. It's a place of art. Goes on to say the Atiti Devo Bhava concept, where when he enters the home, the arti was done to him. He was surprised, taken aback, where India feels Atiti as Devo Bhava, the social, economic, cultural merits of the country, respect for the elders, openness, traditions. He understands all these things for a length of time. He goes and sees the Ganga Aarti, understands the culture, significance, and writes back. And finally, he makes a resolve in the next year, I will come back to India to do a research on Indian culture and traditions. This is the oath that he takes in the 5th chapter, the cultural transformation. The 6th chapter deals with the treasure hunt, quest for the unseen, spiritual transformation. Here, a big announcement has been made to find out the treasure, the greatest treasure you can find. And a lot of prizes were announced. So many people had applied. One group of young friends have attended. And finally, it's a way of finding out the clues and reaching out the destination. And they all have attended. The first clue comes. This is about a place. It is few kilometers north of the celestial kingdom in the clouds. No one understands what is it. Finally, they crack the code and understands it is Tirupati. From Tirupati, they have to go north. They find out a place where they understand the importance of symbolism in Sanatana Dharma. The book expands so much about what is symbolism in Indian culture. From there, they go to the second clue, saying, come and listen to the eloquence of silence in the heart cave of the three-eyed God. They understand it is Ramana Maharshi's ashram in Arunachala Shiva, it is Tiruvannamalai. There they understand the importance of mystics and saints and sages, great rishis of this Indian lore, the spiritual heritage. Then goes the third, where it says, reach Sri Sachkhand by 13th hour. Means the Gurudwara. Sachkhand means reach the reality, the truths. That's how we have to find out the truth. Finally, the last clue says, you find the final one, find her, the one hiding between two sisters. By cracking this code, they understand the sisters are nothing but Ganga and Yamuna. The unknown is the Saraswati. And there was a person who took them across the river, and he was the person who had the final clue. And the final clue says, you are that. Tat Tvam Asi. Tat Tvam Asi. What you are seeking is nowhere outside. You are that. This is the great heritage of the spiritual transformation. The final transformation is the universal outlook, where they bring about the harmony, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, where we need to grow beyond the boundaries of the country. We have to grow beyond the boundaries of any religion and become one with the mankind, humanity, and world at large. And they bring the importance of harmony and peace in the world. And more than that, just like the last year G20 summit, one earth, one family, one goal. With that, 7 transformations, each story deals with a different type to take us through a transformation journey. So these are the chapters there. The specialities are, these are interactive stories, not just the stories, interactive, where you will be taken through the stories. The second, most of us feel, can I transform the country? The first and the last page itself speaks about many people, one person transforming this country, one person making a milk revolution, one person making the green revolution, one person bringing the freedom movement. So all these, can I transform? Says yes. If you become right, the nation becomes right. The third, each chapter ends with transformation toolkit, the practical exercises to work on ourselves, to bring about a change in ourselves and the society. Inspirational stories are there, at least around 40-50 stories in just a paragraph of how they have transformed and the nation has been given. There are quote and unquotes of great people. Finally, the last back cover ends with a beautiful message where you have to find the transformed India. It says, where is transformed India? Discover her. Where you should discover? Discover her in the innocence of mischievous children, in the compassion of tireless women, in the energy of resourceful youngsters, in the security of cohesive parents, in the loving of forgiving elders, and it goes on to end in the faith of prayerful devotees, in the persistence of ardent seekers, in me, in you, in everyone. I am the India. I am the transformed India. Like this, The book ends with a high note where everyone are probed to work on oneself of becoming a transformed Indian. By that, the nation India get transformed. Even the front page itself shows a puzzle where if you are transformed as a person, nation itself gets transformed. So I thank Disha Bharat for giving me an opportunity to introduce such a beautiful work, such an inspirational work to the audience. I wish you all take this book, take up one story per day, understand, assimilate, and try to transform yourself, thereby the nation. Thank you. Thank you so much.